Hello from the Big South Network studio. I'm Mark Bryant. Very happy to be joined by some special guests today as we look back at the Paralympics USA gold medalist Paralympic. Nick Mayhugh, his brother Thomas, joining us today. Nick, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. It's great to be back.
For those who don't remember, alum of Radford men's soccer, and maybe they don't know why Paralympics for you. Can you go over the background real quick as to what your condition is, what you've overcome to compete?
Yeah, so I was born with a mild form of cerebral palsy that went undiagnosed till I was 14. And after I was diagnosed, I was told that I would never be able to play soccer again, but I knew that wasn't in the cards. So, I worked my butt off and got the chance to be recruited by Radford University and Mark Reeves, and he gave me a chance to prove myself, at the Division I level. And, I went on to have a successful 4 years at Radford, and then I was recruited to play on the Paris 7-a-side national soccer team. To play soccer there, and unfortunately in 2019 the Tokyo Games cut para-soccer from the program, so I was left not knowing what I was going to do for 2020 and beyond. And Team USA actually reached out and asked if I wanted to run track, and I dedicated the next 2 years of my life to learning the sport of track and field and hopefully qualifying for Tokyo and then having gone and done what I did.
Well, and we'll talk about what you did in just a second, but let's talk about the lead up to Tokyo first. You're a soccer guy. Now you're a track and field guy. What was that transition, and tell me about going through that training?
It was the most humbling experience I've ever had to go through. There was so many times that I wanted to quit, so many times that I doubted myself, and if I didn't have my brother here sitting next to me, pushing me every step of the way, just keeping me on track and waking me up those mornings and dragging me out to the track. It was really tough. I think that if Tokyo hadn't got postponed, I would have gone there a soccer athlete trying to run track.
Well, that gives an opening here, Thomas. Your side of the story. How was that training going from your perspective? I mean, you were with them every step of the way here. Talk about getting through that, all the pre-Tokyo stuff.
So for us, it was pretty much, we knew what could be done. We knew it was a long shot, but we knew that with soccer being out of the picture, it almost paved the way for us to be able to achieve what we were able to achieve. And Nick having gone through what he went through, even just coming through the ranks of soccer through college, like even in college, it was still like a dude, just stick to it, trust the process, continue to go to practice, continue to perform, don't worry about all the noise. That set the foundation subconsciously, which I mean, until you bring it up to him, I don't think he even understands the levels that it built for him to then be able to say, okay, now I'm going to change sports. And you tell a kid you're going to run track, and they already think, oh, cool, I play soccer. I'm pretty fast. I can chase people down. I'm really good, and speed has to have something to do with it. So I should probably be able to translate to track. The two things do not translate properly at all. Endurance and sprinting for 10 seconds. Like they don't really like if you're gonna perform optimally at one, you can't really have any of the other.
First race is the 100-meter prelims. You set a world record. I mean, like right out of the gate, you're doing that. What was it like taking the blocks for the first time and then posting a number like that?
I expected it. I sat down with my coach up in Northern Virginia, somebody that we both refer to who's in charge of it all, and he's my second set of eyes here in Charlotte. And we actually all sat down and looked at the world record times, and I actually have the world record times for the 100, 200, and 400. And the first day that I started training, I wrote those numbers down and I taped them up on each wall in my house. So that was the first thing I saw when I woke up and the last thing I saw when I went to bed. And it's something that I always knew that I could achieve, and something that I ingrained in the back of my head, and wake up and go to training and run those numbers. And I never knew what I was running. They never let me time myself. So I never really knew what to expect, other than, I was gonna go there, run the fastest I could run, and I was gonna go break the world record in every single race that I ran in.
You already summarized the results, but you set the world record in the 100, 200, in the 400, 4x100 relay. You got 3 golds and a silver. We got them right here, actual medals here on the desk. Could you have imagined, I know you're saying you're visualizing some of it, but really, could you imagine being so successful across the board, doing virtually everything you set out to do?
To be honest, yes. I mean, I knew what I was capable of. Thomas knew it, and my coach. We sat down from each other. 2 years ago, 18 months ago to be exact, and to really, he said, what do you want to do in the next 2 years? What do you want to do when you go to Tokyo? And I said, I want to go to Tokyo and I want to win a gold medal. And he laughed and got up and walked out of the room and told me to leave. And then he came back the next day and we sat across from each other and he said, what do you want? And I said, I'm going to go to Tokyo and I'm going to win a gold medal. And that was the change in demeanor, the change in the mindset of knowing, what I was going to do rather than what I wanted to do. And so I can sit here today and say that it was easy, but it was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my entire life.
Thomas, you're helping the process along. As we said, the results speak for themselves, but your brother did all this. What did that feel like, seeing all those accomplishments come in?
As his time started coming out, we were like, okay, like this is where he kind of sits. This is where the people that we are pretty sure are gonna also be in Tokyo, this is what they're running. So they're coming in, you have a target on your back, but what we've learned about these times is that they're probably not gonna catch you as long as you don't mess it up. Like, these are gonna be your races to lose, but it is going to be something you haven't experienced, because we've been going to these different meets and going to these different things, and he's been running by himself. Like, he's never ran against competition, let alone in a stadium against people who have also been training for this same thing. It was exciting, like super exciting. Like, I don't think I've cheered at a TV like that before, So very emotional.
Nick, what's next for you? What you talk about this being a long process, so where's the next step, and the next step after that, what happens?
Just straight back to work and trusting the next process, the next chapter. To sit down with him and my coach and Coach Kavanaugh up in Virginia and really just watch back our races, watch back the training, and the months that it was before that, and what I did right and what I did wrong and what I can do better. And now I was given 2 years to train for Tokyo, and now I see it as I'm given an extra year in 3, and everyone else sees it as, they're giving a year taken off in not having 4, but it's a benefit to me, so I'm excited to see what I can do with 3 years of genuine hard training, and it's not going to be perfect, but I'm going to try to be as close to it as possible, and I know that I'm going to go to Paris and do the exact same thing that I did again.
Well, we wish you the very best of luck. Gold medalist Nick Mayhugh, Thomas Mayhugh, thank you so much for your time today, gracing us here at the Big South Network studio. Congratulations, best of luck. Thank you for watching.